The Launch Club can confirm that thousands of British-born children are at risk of being deported from their country if the plan that Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, has just announced is allowed to go forward. You heard me right. British-born children are at risk of being deported from their country because their parents do not have the right to live in the UK. Good afternoon. The Lunch Club is where you will hear the daily update about immigrant lived experiences and immigration news. We are bringing these stories not to scare anyone, but to inform and educate our audience, because we realize that knowledge, they say, is power. There is no substitute to information. If you let me know what your views are as we dive into the story. There are reports in all the major newspapers in the UK that the government, under the plan that Shabana Mahmood recently announced, children born in the UK could be deported. So let's understand what is behind this plan. The government says that they are trying to deport a lot of people who are not supposed to remain in the UK. But one thing has made it very, very difficult for them to deport the people that they want to deport. They say that thing is Article 8, the right to private and family life. What the government is saying is that a lot of people come to the UK. These people have children in the UK. They have children, and the sole purpose of having these children is for them to remain in the country. They say once people have children, when they then have these children, after the children have lived in the UK for more than 10 years, say for instance, John and Angela came to the UK on a visitor's visa. Their visa expired and they decide to live in the country illegal. They then have a child named Andrew. If baby Andrew lives in the UK for more than 10 years, despite the fact that his parents are illegal in the country, baby Andrew, as a 10 years old, is entitled to apply for British citizenship as long as he has lived in the UK continuously. So baby Andrew then gets British passport. When baby Andrew gets British passport, his parents will then be able to use that passport to say, you know what, we have a child who is British citizen, and therefore we are applying to live in the country, and a lot of people are using it to get 2.5 years to stay in the country. The government is saying that because of that, even when they try to deport a lot of people from the country, these people will go to court, and the judge will then say, oh, under Article 8, the right to family life, you will not be able to deport these people from the UK because they have a child who is British. So the government is now coming up and saying, you know what? We are not going to allow this to happen anymore. We are going to change the law, which means that even if you have a child who is British, and you're not supposed to be living in the country, when they want to deport you, you've got two choices. Either you take that child who is British, leave the country with the British child, or the child and the parent will be sent out of the UK together. Now, this is what Shabana Mahmood is proposing, and this announcement has sent shockwave across the political spectrum. People are saying that why should children born in the UK, who have lived in the UK for 10 years, who are British born, why should you deport the children and their parents? Because the government is saying that, look, if the parents are living in the country illegal and we want to deport them, the parents have a choice. We're not deporting the children, but we have to send the parents away. And a lot of parents have used this law, according to the government, to stay in the country for many years. And the government is now saying, no, we are going to deport those who are in the UK with their children from the UK. Let me know what your views are, whether you think that it is fair for children born in the United Kingdom to be deported by the government because their parents do not have paper. Put your comment in the comment section, because the government is saying that Article 8, the right to family life, have been used by a lot of people to stay in the country to evade deportation of the government, and the government is saying loud and clear. Some people are saying that if the government starts implementing this policy, a lot of young children are going to end up in foster care, because you're going to have a situation where the parents will say, you know what, I am returning back to my home country, but I do not want my children to return back with me. So the government take these children, care for them in foster care. You're going to have a situation where a lot of children, mainly from minority background, are going to be lost in the system because their parents have no papers to live in the country, and the government is saying this, we are going to deport their parents and the children if the children have to remain with their parents. Jeremy Corbyn, the former leader of the Labour Party, said we don't need to talk about reform again. That this new Home Secretary and the Labour Party leadership is now the new Reform Party, that they are now implementing Reform Party policy. We know that in the United States, where Trump is currently implementing similar policy, children are being separated from their parents. They are being separated from their parents as we speak right now, because we have heard reports that a lot of children have been, parents have been deported, and their children have had to make the sad decision of leaving their children in the US. What is your view? Do you think it is fair for parents and British-born children to be deported? Even the government policy, you can see what is there. The Shadow Home Secretary, Chris Febb, is saying that this policy is a step in the right direction, but it doesn't go far enough. While you have people on the left saying that they cannot believe that Labour Party is using this policy to want to deport people. Some people are saying that this is absolutely wrong. The government is saying that there are a lot of people as we speak today who are not supposed to be in the country. The only reason they're in the country is because they have a child or children who are British. Because of that, they are claiming benefit. Some of them have removed no recourse to public fund from their, even when they gave them 2.5 years, they will then go and remove the 2 years, remove the no recourse to public fund, and they will be claiming benefit that they are not supposed to be entitled to. The only reason they are doing this is that they, oh, I have a child who's British, and because of that, you cannot deport me, and you don't have to provide to me. The government is saying, no, we are going to put a stop for this. If you have a child who is British and you are living in the country illegally, you've got a choice. Either you take the British child and return back to your home country, or we will deport you and the child back. You have people like Lord Dobbs, a child refugee who came to the UK, warning that the UK, the country that once saved people like him, is now turning its back on the very principle that protected thousands of vulnerable children. He is now saying that he cannot believe what is happening, while you have people outraged by the plan that British-born children will be deported with their parents, which the government has set out. They are going to do this. The question that I am asking is, do you think that this policy is fair for children born in the UK to be deported? Let me know what your views are. If you know anyone who lives in the UK who is planning to use 2.5 years route to stay in the UK, you need to make sure that they see this, because the government is now saying that they are going to make sure that in the future, you will not be able to come to the country illegal. And you stay in the country, you have a child born here. After the child has lived here for 10 years, you obtain British passport, and you then use that child, because the child is British, you then use that child to apply to stay in the country. The government is saying people are using that route through the back door, and they are going to change they're going to make sure that they review the law so that people cannot use Article 8, the right to private and family life, to stay in the country. What is your view? Do you think this is fair for British citizens to be deported from their home country? Let me know what your views are in the comment section. Leave your comment, because some people are saying that Shabana Mahmood, she is doing a lot of the things that she is doing now because she comes from minority background, that if a white MP or home secretary was doing a lot of the things that she is doing, that the person will be condemned, because this is nothing more than a racist policy, and it's aimed at targeting people from minority community. That is one of the criticism of the home secretary. Do you agree? Let me know what your views are. Do you think that she's doing a fantastic job? At least some people are saying yes, she could be the politician that end up saving the Labour Party, because right now, since the last 2 weeks, people are talking about Shabana Mahmood and her policy. They are not talking about reform. Again, that she is doing all the things that reform said they were coming to do. She came and she's doing it right now, and telling people, forget about reform. We're here to stay and we are doing it. Do you believe that the Labour Party is now like reform? And do you believe that the Labour Party has lost its value, as some people have said, that the Labour Party is now a right-wing party that is implementing the most racist and anti-immigration policy in the history of British politics? Let me know what your views are. Do you think that British citizens should be deported because their parents do not have papers to live in the country? Let me know what your views are. Don't forget to give this a like, share so that other people can learn. Remember, information is power. There's no substitute for information.